if you're traveling, I really recommend that you carry your own, what do you call this? Oil changing filter tool. It's actually, this one is a plastic one, and it costs only less than $20. Get it from Bob's BMW. If you want BMW one, it costs you only $80, and it's in metal. This is way perfect. The other thing you need on a long trip is, of course, spare filter. And with the filter come a crush washer, which is for the drain plug, of course. So that's what I'm going to show you, how to do that. Of course, you can do that at home too, save you a visit to your dealer. But especially when you are traveling, I'm using a 13mm wrench here, 2 on the back, 1 on the left front. Loosen those, and then you have a 10mm, I believe it is, up here. And the purpose of this is, as it's called, a bash plate or sump plate. Basically, you want to protect your engine against any bumps and bruises. On my bike, I have a Touratech extra reinforced one because I go places where there is a little more bumpy roads, and I'm a little afraid of having my sump damage. Yeah, but what I like also with this bike, though, to compare to my 1150, the crash guard don't interfere in this whole operation, which is beautiful. And it's good to keep an eye on what bolt goes where. This one was front left, so I put it here. This was one front right, and then these 2 in the back. So I just make a little pattern here, where you can put them if you want up on the plate. But what I usually would do when I do an oil change, I would go in and I would unscrew the oil filler, oil drain plug, and that's where I'm going to change this crush washer to. And actually, before I open all the way, I would take and open up the plug up here on the cylinder. So what I would do, I would go here, I would open this so air can come in. To drain the oil, I use, can we say what I picked out here, 8mm Allen wrench. That goes into the drain plug here. And of course, it's not a difficult thing to do, it's just open this one. But the point for me was to have up there, I had air coming in, so when I'm opening here, it doesn't start whoop, 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 then it spills all over. When you get air draining in on the top, you just got a nice flow down. So what I do, I usually open up here, unscrew that, and remember, if the oil is really hot, you shouldn't do it right away. You're going to burn yourself. But take it off, and then when you put it back again, just use the little crush washer. Change that every time, and never over-tighten this oil drain plug. Okay, since we are not going to change oil here right now, this is a brand new bike. It had its first 600-mile service. No need to deal with that. So I'm just going to show and tell, kind of. The next thing, after I drain the oil and it's still sitting dripping there, so the next thing I would do, I would take this little tool here, I'll put it under there, and then get it onto the filter. And this is a special one. If you had the 1150 before and had a nice tool for that, sorry, it just don't work. So you have to have the special one for the 1200, so it can fit inside the thread here. You see the special thread there? If you're out in the bush, though, however, and you happen not to have this, you could always hammer a couple of holes, not in the new one, of course, but in the old one, and you could take 2 screwdrivers and a stick or some piece of steel in between, and you could just get that open. And you can always be able to screw that in properly enough. But that's just an emergency. It's easy to carry this little guy here. We go in here, up goes it. And then it's just counterclockwise. And you, oh man, this is a hard one. Okay, you see it's coming loose. But I want to tell you, after you've taken that filter out, you just let everything drain and stuff, and then you take back the oil filler plug with the new crush washer, tighten that nicely. Then you take your new oil filter, and you take a little oil on the gasket here, a little oil on the tread, and you just start it by hand. It's very important so you don't get cross treads in the oil filter. And that, after you've gotten that in there, take this on and just tighten it up. And you shouldn't tighten it tremendously hard. What it's doing, it's crushing flat this gasket around here and making a nice seal. And that, you just need that nice and snug. I was surprised how tight this was, but it's done at the shop. I'm sure they have the right tightness to it. And it's pretty coarse thread here, so you shouldn't be able to do too much wrong. And while we are down here, after you've taken that on, you fill up oil. And as you see, that's where you want the oil. You want it half the way up the glass. And as I said before in this DVD, oil is really funny on this bike here. Because just a little different angle, and it makes a tremendous difference in how you can read it. So make sure that you have the proper amount in there, and off you go.